Donald Trump has been in office for 100 days. And I'm going to tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there's some things that he done in his first 100 days I'm happy about, and there's some things I wish he could keep doing, he could do better at. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to grab your popcorn. I need you to grab your cup of coffee. I need you to sit down in the recliner, or if you're listening on your way to work, turn the radio up, because the Isaac Hayes Show starts right now. That's right, everybody. The Isaac Hayes Show, a primetime media podcast. I want to thank everybody for being part of the program today. And I'll let y'all know, I am alive. I am alive. I am alive. I am well. Did not shoot shows for the last 2 weeks. I took off for Easter, and I was just super busy going forward. After that, we had an event last weekend, and I was prepping for that and doing all that good stuff. But I am back. I am ready, and I'm back at a perfect time. You know, I'm like the good Lord in that sense. I'm never late. I'm never early. I'm right on time for politics. I shouldn't compare myself to the good Lord. Lord, forgive me. But no, the Lord is good. He is faithful. He's merciful. Got a chance to preach last weekend, and got a chance again to minister to the community. So been real busy. But Donald Trump has been in office for 100 days. And I'm going to be honest with you. At sometimes it felt like it was the longest 100 days ever in American history. But it has come to that point where it's 100 days. Now, a lot of people, the first 100 days, it matters a lot to the media. You always, you know, when a president is elected, they ask that president, what are you going to do in the first 100 days? And the president goes full bulldozer on his agenda. He wants to get his stuff done. And the first 100 days have been ups and downs for Donald Trump. I'm going to admit it. I voted for Donald Trump, and you that are watching knows or listening knows this already. Y'all know that I voted for Donald Trump, and I'm happy I voted for Donald Trump. And I hope Donald Trump is successful. I'm going to surprise people. I was hoping Biden would have been successful, because if the president's successful, that means we are successful. But if you compare just the first 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency to the previous administration, the Biden administration, it's day and night. And there is some things I want to talk about Trump's 100 days and my highlights. And look, for this video and this podcast, I can't get to everything, okay? I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and he basically told me, Isaac, I can't think of something good that Donald Trump did. No, Donald Trump did some good things in the first 100 days. But we have to acknowledge the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's why I started off this show with the intro saying, look, I'm going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. And that's how that's the only way I can describe this stuff right here. What I'm going to bring out, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want to start off with Donald Trump's border policy. Tom Homan yesterday said, hey, the last administration just opened up the border. When Donald Trump took office, he tackled the border, and he went forward with it, and guess what? The border is closed. Border crossings are down tremendously under the Trump administration. Donald Trump ran on this, and this is what people voted for. This is why they voted for Donald Trump, to stop the border crossings that were happening in America. Biden, basically, I know I'm going to get some people that are going to say, no, Isaac, that isn't true. Biden opened the border. Biden opened the border for people that would vote for him. Now, I understand there's a debate out there, do illegal immigrants vote and all this stuff. And look, you can have the arguments, we can have the debates on a later episode, but Biden was doing things that were benefiting the illegal immigrants. And we're seeing it now. I'm going to talk about this later on, about the Democrats that went to Venezuela to help a criminal to get back into the country. Now, again, there's debates on this and all this stuff. I know I'm gonna get some people. I can't believe Isaac is saying that stuff, but we're going somewhere with this. But the border situation has improved a lot. Biden just basically told anybody come in whenever you want, and it was certain people. If you remember, in the Biden years, Harris told Cuban immigrants that was trying to flee Cuba, if you come here, you're going to be sent back. Why? Because mostly the people that come from Cuba lean more Republican. Why? Because they don't like socialistic states. Well, what you're trying to say, the Democrats are socialistic? Probably. I don't. A lot of their policies point to socialistic ideas. They like to call us fascists and socialists, but they don't. Their policies are pushing socialism and fascism. This is the Democrat Party. I'm just being honest with you. But they would send those immigrants back to Cuba. But people that would come across from the southern border and from Mexico would typically lean more Democrat, so it benefit them. And this is why they would not, they would only accept certain immigrants. A lot of people don't know this. But Donald Trump has done a 180 on this issue. And this is the good. I'm going to start off with the good. And we're going to work our way down to the bad and the ugly. And the border is secure. Donald Trump went ahead and put 100-yard signs on the White House grounds. And on those signs, there was a picture of an illegal immigrant and his alleged crime, and that he's been deported. Again, the legal crossings are down tremendously under Donald Trump. This is the good. Now, going to that point again, do Democrats think this is good? No, Democrats do not think this is good. Democrats think this is bad. That Donald Trump is sending immigrants to their country of origins. It's wrong. They're not getting due process. Well, when you tell them, hey, you crossed over the border, you have a court date, which is 5 years down the line. Nobody can remember 5 years down the line, especially something like a court date. You will forget about that if you're not constantly reminded of it. They can go to court within the 5 years and have their due process. No, they just decide not to go to court. And again, you're going to forget about it. But the whole issue, the whole thing is, a lot of these people that came across, they weren't planning to go to court anyway. You have Donald Trump sending back people that were supposed to be deported, that was not deported. But now that they are deported, they didn't have due process. And I've been thinking about this. Due process. Why didn't the Trump administration and everybody that the Democrat Party went after, why didn't they get due process? It's fun. And look, this all goes to another point, too. No one's above the law, but except the people you don't like. And look, how funny is this? You have Democrats going to another country and advocating for a man that possibly has ties. I will say possibly, so I don't get red flagged. Possibly has ties to MS-13. And allegedly beat up his wife or girlfriend. Has allegedly, and I'm using those terms because there's some people that he just believe in the rhetoric. He has allegedly did things that went to court for and was proven. Let's make that point. And you have Democrat senators and congressmen and women going to Venezuela. He didn't have due process. He didn't have due process. This man is a thug. This man probably entered in, I don't know if he entered in illegally or illegally, but even if you enter into this country legally and you break the law, you are subject to be deported. Because you come here legally does not mean you cannot be deported. If you are a criminal and you do things wrong, you can be sent back. Now, again, Trump has done a real good job at the border, but the Democrat Party and the media apparently don't like Donald Trump doing his job as commander-in-chief. But this is something that Donald Trump has done good in the first 100 days, and he is continuing to do it. And look, there's people that's trying to stop Donald Trump. A judge in Wisconsin was arrested the other day, allegedly helping an illegal immigrant avoid immigration customs or ICE. Wait, what? And now the media's all got their croissants on a bunch. They're saying, Donald Trump putting judges in jail. This judge, if this was correct, broke the law. She helped a fugitive. But you don't hear that in the media. You don't hear that whatsoever. And look, people just don't put two and two together. How many times tried this woman put people in jail for helping a fugitive? And she does it herself, allegedly. Oh, Donald Trump being a dictator. He's putting judges in jail for... If she went ahead and helped this person run away from authorities, she broke the law, and yes, she should be disrobed and she should be put in jail. But people, I said, Donald Trump being a dictator. No, Donald Trump trying to protect our country. And he's doing that with this new immigration policies. He's protecting our border. And this is the thing. You had Biden saying, I can't do nothing at the border, while slurping on an ice cream. Like Donald Trump said at the State of the Union, all we needed was another president. And you can get get it down. Okay, let's go with the ugly. The ugly, I'm going to go out of order because good, bad, and ugly. I'm going to go with the ugly first. The tariffs, ugly. And now people might say, well, wait, you didn't label that the bad? No, I label tariffs ugly. In his first 100 days, Donald Trump has not. He has said a lot, and most of it has been about tariffs. Now, I did not fully understand tariffs when I first heard the term, and I have been doing some research, and yes, it is a tax on the American people. What Donald Trump's trying to do is get us fair trade agreements. I agree, we need new trade agreements that are fair for both parties that are involved, not just one-sided. And Donald Trump's trying to bring manufacturing back to the United States. With all the tariff talk and everything that's going on with the tariffs, it showed that America does not have manufacturing no more, which is sad because I've heard some documentaries. I watched some documentaries about the roaring 50s and the 60s, and you had Hershey, and you had Ford, and you had the industry boom and the manufacturing boom in the United States. And you hear all this in these documentaries, and you're like, where are those countries at now? And they're overseas because labor is cheaper. The product is cheaper, and they send it to us, and we pay an arm and a leg for it. And what Donald Trump wants to do is have more fair, he's trying to bring manufacturing back here in the United States. It will take years. I'm going to give you that. It will take years for Donald Trump to go ahead and build factories here that will help us in the United States. I will give you all that. This is why I say this part, tariffs are ugly. They are extremely ugly because Donald Trump's trying to do something to help our nation, but it's also hurting us. Because of the tariffs and the trade war, the economy is down. When he first issued these tariffs, the stock market fell so far that your head was spin. Countries were racing to come do a new deal with us, and China is stepping in saying, you know what, we're going to continue fighting this war. And what is sad, according to the Daily Wire, let me go ahead and pull this up right here. Donald Trump is sitting at a 39% approval rating. I'm going to go ahead and put that onto the screen right here. President in the same Washington Post and ABC polls show President Trump with a 39% approval rating, also showing that 7 out of 10 Americans say the Democrat Party is out of touch, while 6 out of 10 say that about Trump. So the polling is not looking good for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is down in the polls, and this is because of the economy. And like I said, this is the ugly part of the 100 days of Donald Trump. These tariffs, and I've talked about tariffs multiple times on this show. I am for tariffs in general to get us back to where we need to go. It's a good power tool. And again, if you look at history in 1913, and well, before 1913, all the United States used was tariffs to make money. And then the tax law came into play. And I have a strong opinion about the Internal Revenue Service and the tax codes and everything like that. But Donald Trump is trying to change things, and he's trying to give us more fair agreement, but it's hurting the economy as of right now. Now, Donald Trump has warned. He said, look, us doing this is probably going to hurt, but please trust me. And there's some out there, and there's some close friends I have, they will say, well, yes, we're going to trust Donald Trump no matter what. No, we need to talk about the facts, and we need to go ahead and face the facts and say, look, this is hurting us right now. And I think Donald Trump could have been a little bit more clearer in his first 100 days in telling us, hey, what is he going to do with the economy? But the economy is not looking good right now. The economy is the best way I can say is slumping. And look, it's not slumping as bad as it could be, but it is slumping. And Donald Trump is trying to work out these fair trade agreements with these other countries to try to help us out. Again, this is, like I said, this is the ugly part of his first 100 days. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've said this multiple times to people. I think Donald Trump could have done a better way than he did. Okay, I wish I wasn't coming on here talking about this was the ugly part of his 100 days. But we have to. It is not looking good. I think he could have done it a different way. I think he could have done it, one country at a time. Look, I understand Canada had issues with us, but I always said if Canada would help protect their borders and do other things, we should lift tariffs on them. He kept tariffs on them, and this is because Justin Trudeau, and who is now no longer the prime minister, but the other prime minister saying, well, we're going to have a trade war. Mexico done their part. I think he still got 25% tariffs on them. This needs to get done better. Okay, tariffs need to get now. There's some people that's really anti-tariff. I understand that, but you need to pressure these countries into doing a better job as well. Now, again, like I said in the last segment, I'm going to bring up the Democrats, the hypocrisy of the Democrat Party in this segment, because the Democrats for years want us to pay taxes out of the wazoo. Come on, we have a debt tax, we have corporate tax, we got private land tax, we got tax here, tax there, and Democrats, every time there's a tax hike, the Democrats are in for it. They want to tax the American people. This has been the whole platform of the Democrat Party for several years. But it's kind of funny now that Donald Trump is pushing tariffs. You have every Democrat in the book. I can't believe Donald Trump's trying to raise taxes. If I was a Republican legislator, I would tell them, wait, you don't want high taxes? So Trump, let's push the bill. Let's push the new tax bill. You can hear, no, we need these tax hikes. We need American citizens to pay taxes. Well, you can't have it both ways. You cannot have you cannot have taxes and not raise taxes, but you want to raise taxes. Now, again, this might go to where the money's going to as well. Democrats like raising taxes because it funds their pockets. It funds the United States government, and which means that they can afford a private jet, or they can go ahead and drink their tea and sip and eat their caviar. And they can have these grand balls because that's the American citizens that are paying that. But see, when you want a tariff, you're paying it to another country. Oh no, we can't have that. And whatever benefits the Democrat Party. That's why they want to raise taxes. And that's what I see. And understand, look, this is going to go on TikTok, some clips. And people are going to tell me, how dare you? I can't believe that. No, just follow the money. The Democrats want to raise taxes, except when it comes to tariffs. And that's the hypocrisy of all this right here. And like I said, this is a big, ugly situation. So we covered the good. The good is Donald Trump taking care of the border, and he's shipping out criminals. The ugly is the tariffs. Now let's talk about the bad. The bad to me is Trump's tax cuts. Again, look, it's the first 100 days. We understand legislation takes forever to get done. The term, an act of Congress, that was not just a term that people thought of. No, laws are supposed to take time. Okay, I understand that. But we have a Republican majority in the House, a Republican majority in the Senate, and we have the presidency. And we also have a Supreme Court that is supposed to be conservative. Why don't we have a tax bill that we can vote on? Johnson said they're doing a great job. I saw that article earlier. Let me see if I can find it. I'll bring it up. Yeah, exclusive. Trump has achieved more in 100 days than most presidents. Oh, why is this showing up? In their lifetime, Johnson says. Okay, Johnson. Yeah, okay, I can agree with you. There's a lot of things like I said, these are the three major issues I want to talk about in this video and in this podcast today. But Johnson makes this claim. Yeah, Trump has done more than 100 days. Imagine if the Republican Party would join up with him and unite around him. You could do more. Again, this is why I say this is the bad of Donald Trump's 100 days. Yet I'm using a tax bill, but at the same time, Republicans are not helping him in a lot of areas. A lot of Republicans are fighting Donald Trump in a lot of areas that could benefit the country. Johnson's bragging that this president has done more than most presidents have done in their lifetime, but why we don't see more results? Again, you can use the tax bill. You can use several bills that Donald Trump's trying to get done and is always stalling in Congress or in the Senate. Democrats are in power. They get a lot of stuff done. Biden was a lame duck president for a lot of time of his presidency. And he got the not Inflation Reduction Act passed. He got tons of bills passed, and even with some help from the Republican Party. Don't you remember right before Donald Trump took office, they needed to pass a resolution, a continuing resolution for the bills, and it was going to get funding for all kind of stuff, and Republicans were for this. And Donald Trump made people aware, hey, Republicans are voting for this, but this is going to hurt. Now, a lot of people say, well, that was political, Isaac. Donald Trump, I'm glad Donald Trump did what he did. Because it showed the hypocrisy of some Republicans. And look, if you're watching and how dare you say that ain't you a Republican? Some Republicans are not Republicans, they're Democrats. Goes back to the Bongino rule, where you can have some Republicans that are really Democrats, but you never have a Democrat that's really a Republican. Never. You never see a Democrat side with you never see a Democrat side with the Republican Party. You see Republicans siding with Democrats all the time, and you're like, what the heck you doing? And this 100 days exposed a lot of the Republicans. And this is the bad side of it. We are a party that is in control. Why we're not doing more? Why we're not getting bills passed? Why are we not getting Trump's agenda done? Especially the tax code. Look, the Trump tax cuts in at the end of this year. And if they don't get something done, it's going to raise our taxes. And you really think we're crying about tariffs right now? And you have Republicans, we got to continue resolution. The government's going to shut down. We need to do something. Get your act together and do your job and make a budget. But see, they don't want that. Because if they put a budget, some stuff might have to be cut out. And look, the Republicans are, Because look, I'm so tired of this argument where Republicans are better than Democrats. They're two different sides of a coin. And look, I had so much hopes for Johnson as Speaker of the House, but this man sounds like he's dragging his foot. Now, I never met Johnson. I know people that know Mike Johnson, but and look, this is a great thing for Louisiana. Okay, I'm glad. I'm a Louisiana congressman is the Speaker of the House. Whoopee! I'm happy. But what is he doing? He can come from the North Pole. If he does things better than Johnson, it's fine. Republicans in the first 100 days should have got their act together and pushed as much policies for Donald Trump as possible. But no, a lot of the policies that Donald Trump is trying to push, they are twiddling their thumbs. They're moving their feet around in the sand, and they're taking their time. That's the bad part of Trump's 100 days. I think Donald Trump could have done 10 times more. And again, we would have maybe another conversation about this. But look, the tax code, the new making Donald the Trump tax cuts permanent. And look, I understand the Democrats are not going to want this. I understand that everybody's going to fight against this, but it could have been done way better, in my humble opinion, for the first 100 days with the Republican Party. So that's it. That's the good, that's the bad, and that's the ugly. Okay, Isaac, what's our issue? Or I mean, what should Donald Trump do going forward? Well, I'm glad you asked. I think Donald Trump should continue clamping on the border, and he needs to go ahead and make sure that hardened criminals are not coming into this country. We need a good vetting system. Now, Donald Trump has sent a lot of illegal immigrants out, and again, he's continued to do that. You had the story with Colorado, then you had the story, I think, with Florida. Across the country, you had 2 raids going on, and finding out a underground casino or something like that in Colorado. It was all legal immigrants, criminals. We need to keep getting the criminals out. But at the same time, if you are an immigrant and you want to come to this country, we need to make it possible for you to be in this country. And also, if you come to this country legally and you want to be a citizen, we need to make a way for path for citizenship, but you have to prove yourself. And look, there's laws for that already. There's laws if you're an immigrant and you want to be a citizen of these great United States. There's ways to do it. But we need to do it right, and we need to fix the immigration system. And look, we know a lot of this was coming through Democrat programs and everything to come across the board. We all know that. But again, I think he should stay on the border and work. And look, that's one of the bright spots that Donald Trump has. I think his polling would be lower if he wasn't doing what he was doing on the border. Going forward with tariffs, and look, I understand this country we have the war in Ukraine. That's something that we didn't even talk about when the 100 days. That could be considered a ugly situation as well with the Ukraine issue. And so I didn't even get to that. They did talk at Pope Francis's funeral, so we have to see what happens with that. And Russia has been trying to fool Donald Trump, and Donald Trump just needs to tell him, hey, if you don't stop this war, there's going to be consequences, and he needs to hold his guns. But the war in Ukraine needs to get situated in the next 100 days of his administration. They need to get the tax bill. They need to get these tax things done. Going with the tariffs. Make agreements as quick as possible, so inflation don't go up, and then our economy goes up, because we need a good economy. And look, I heard, I think it was Mark Levin that broke it down. Look, if he can get them tax cuts, he can go ahead and use them tariffs, and it will balance out. But again, if we have Republicans that are not doing their job, which leads me to the next point, going on with his administration, the Republicans need to get their act together and start getting stuff done for Donald Trump's agenda. They're always saying we're MAGA, and we want to go ahead and make sure MAGA is the agenda is passed. Well, do your job. Just don't go run to a camera and say the Democrats this, the Democrats that, the Democrats that. The Democrats are showing how foolish they are right now. But you're showing how foolish you are as well, because you're not getting stuff done. When you have a party that's when the opposite party, when they're in power, they get all their stuff done with opposition, and you don't. And it just goes back to what Rush Limbaugh, the great late Rush Limbaugh, would say. They just don't know how to lead. They don't know how to lead whatsoever. With that being said, pray for our nation, because you don't put your faith and trust in the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, or Donald Trump, or Chuck Schumer, or Joe Biden. You need to put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. He's the only one that can fix the situation we are in. But there needs to be men that are praying. There need to be women that are praying for this country. Please continue to pray for the nation of America, because all this stuff I just talked about, the only way our nation gets back to truly being great is through the name of Jesus Christ. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this show. I want to call to action, guys. I need a call. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that subscribe button if you like to see more content like this. If you hit that subscribe button, it will tell you when we go. If you hit the bell, it will tell you when we go live. Hit that subscribe button if you like content like this. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. And also, you need to go check out our good friends at PRIMETIME Media. My good friend Kelby Dago went ahead and let me go ahead and see if I can find it. I need to put this as my I need to go ahead and make sure that this is on here. Let's see. I thought that was it right there. Let's go ahead and I can't find it now. Anyway, going back to that, as you can see on the screen, or if you're watching on YouTube, you see on the screen there is a new logo for Primetime Media. Now, PrimetimeMediaLA.com. You can go look up the Isaac Hayes Show. Oh, there it is. There it is. I found it. So let's go ahead and go to it. So this is PrimetimeMediaLA.com. And this is all the shows, and we have some updates. We will be getting some new shows, but look at the new website, guys. They went ahead and rebranded, and they went ahead and changed the colors. Don't it look good? But I need you to do me a favor. Go and check out this website and tell us how you like it. Look, we got some good stories here, some local stories if you're here in the Lafayette area. But Primetime Media, the home of the Isaac Hayes Show, you can see on your screen, PrimetimeMediaLA.com/Isaac Hayes Show. This is where all our episodes are premiered, and they are promoted through Primetime Media along with Spotify and everybody else. But you need to go check out PrimetimeMediaLA.com, PrimetimeMediaLA.com, and go ahead and let us know how you like it. Also sign up for our newsletter. You'll be happy you did. Again, hit that subscribe button on the platforms you are listening on and watching on now. It is deeply appreciated. Until next time, we will see you here on the Isaac Hayes Show. You be blessed. You be encouraged. Remember, Jesus Christ is King, and he's coming back soon. So be ready for his quick return. Until next time, you be blessed.